We're looking at goods and services, so very quickly we're just going to look at just the role. Okay, that's any bit you guys were asked to look at. What's the actual point? What does it do? Okay, what does operations management actually try to achieve? Okay, now you had a few things in that video that you had to look at, mainly what's the strategic role? Okay, so which is what's that long-term goal? Okay, when we looked at the 3 levels of goals, 3 levels of planning, what were the 3 levels? You had strategic up the top, but then what were the other 2? Think back to your Year 11 course. You had strategic up the top, and you had 2 more just below it. I'll edit out all the awkward pauses, don't worry. Have a go. One starts with T, one starts with O. Alright, do you remember tactical and operational? Alright, so these ones here, they're your day-to-day, week to week, month to month, your really short-term ones. Alright? These ones here, 3.
Should we write these down if we don't remember it?
Yeah, write them down if you don't remember. Anything we do on the board here, by all means, jot down and add to your notes, alright?
These goals,
These were the 3 levels of planning. Okay? And strategic is really 5 years plus, okay? There's no real hard and fast rule of how many years these have to go. If you remember, we actually did that diagram that looked a bit like an elephant's foot that sort of went like that.
So that's for way too many toenails.
Do you remember that one there we did in Year 11? Okay? So you've got the operational goals, how do we do the day-to-day stuff to then build up to the month-to-month stuff or the year-to-year stuff. And then how does that all link into our overall 5-year plan? Okay? So the whole point of the operations management is to really, how are you going to reach that long-term goal? Okay? And what you would have found in your videos was it's all related to really only a few things. Okay? But the very big one, alright, starts with C. The very big thing that operations is always trying to look at in order to make sure it reaches its goal. Yes, we want quality, okay, making sure that people get a quality product, they get it quickly, okay, speed. But the big word I'm looking for, starting with C, that operations management's always looking at.
Cost.
Thank you, Brad. Cost. Okay, finding ways to minimise cost. When you minimise cost, what does it do? When you minimise cost, what happens?
Reading from the video or something like cost leadership and all that stuff, like when your products cost less, your prices can go down and then customers are more happy with it.
So what does that say? Starting with an A, what does that mean? If customers can now buy it, they're more happy, you've lowered your costs, you've minimised waste, okay, you found a way of reusing all the offcuts from your processes. If you've lowered costs and people can now buy them and people are now happier, starting with A, what's that word?
Affordable.
Affordable, thank you, affordable. Things are now affordable, and when things are affordable, people they're more likely to buy them because they can actually, afford them. But it means that you might actually increase your market share because you are now, and Steph, you said cost leadership. Okay? That's the big thing there. Being a cost leader, not being the company that says, 5 of our competitors have reduced their prices, we'll follow on and do the same. A cost leader is, we're going to be the first to reduce our prices to try and get all these extra customers. And then when other companies do the same, we've beat them to it. We've already managed to get all these extra customers before them. Okay? The whole point of being a leader. Okay, the first to do it. So the whole point of operations is to do what? What's really the whole role of it? What's the whole role? What does it do? There's 3 steps, and the same ones we would have done in Year 11. Okay? What's step 1, step 2, and step 3? Yeah?
Inputs.
Perfect. Inputs.
Transformation and output.
Thank you. So, Give me some examples of inputs.
Materials.
Thank you. So raw materials, good. Raw materials. What other examples of inputs do you have? Who has to put that, that plank of wood
Labour.
onto the thing? Labour, thank you. What else? What's that big machine called? Oh, the umbrella term for all the machinery they use. Or anything that produces something else. Another word, starting with C. Not to get confused when we do finance and you look at the money that goes in. It's the same name as the money that goes in, but in this instance we're looking at something that produces something else. What was that?
Capital.
Perfect, thank you, capital. Alright, good. Now in the transformation, that's fairly straightforward. Okay? Really, you're taking a plank of wood, something's happening here, and you're going to end up with, I don't know, a table, okay, a shelf, something. Alright? When it comes to outputs though, what can you get? We're looking at goods, we're not looking at services yet because that one's going to be a bit harder. But when you've got a good, you've got your inputs, something happens to it, and then output at the end. There's really two things that can happen there. Do you remember what they are? In terms of the type of good that can come out. Yeah, I'll go.
Is it like STM?
Yeah, and perfect. Do you remember what they mean?
Simple. One's simple and one's elaborate.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, you've got another word you can use is semi-finished or finished as well. Okay? So you've got, let's say, a raw material might be whatever it is they use to make screws. Okay? Iron ore. Goes through the transformation processes, gets turned into a screw, that's your output, a screw. Now, if you were someone who was going to use that screw to make a TV, put it into the circuit board to manufacture a whole TV, well then that'll be a semi-finished good because someone else is going to use it as their input. Okay, they're going to start the transformation process again and their material is going to be that screw that they bought from someone else and then go through the whole process all over again. Okay? If it's, for example, the output is a car, okay, that's something with high value, that's going to be very elaborately transformed. Okay, you can't really take that car and then put it back into the process and come out with something else at the end, really. It's going to stay as a car. Okay? Now, when it comes to that, however, there's really two things you can do with goods as well. Alright, standardised and customised. I'm not going to write anything about these, I want to hear what you guys say. Standardised goods, what does that mean? Okay, basically it's like a mass-produced thing, okay? Your black iPhone 7 Plus, okay, they pump them out, make 1 million of them at one time, it goes down to the assembly line, it's standardised, everyone gets the same, okay, everyone gets the same thing. Henry Ford, when he created cars, made cars for the first time, his whole thing was everyone can have whatever colour they want, as long as it's black. Okay, everyone gets the same colour, all standardised. There's no change. And what that allows the business to do is, I'll rub it off now, but reduce costs. Because the more they have to fiddle with stuff and change the colours, get someone to stop a machine, change the dye, they're making a green t-shirt instead of a red t-shirt now, that time takes money. Okay, and that's wastage and that stops it from being efficient and then it stops it from being affordable. Okay? As opposed to customised, which is the total other end of the spectrum, which is people can order, put stuff into order. They can get whatever they want. Okay? There is a bit of a middle ground. Okay? You could get, I think, iPods a while ago, you can get them engraved at the back. So that's, it's a standardised product. Everyone gets a red iPhone, iPod that, 64 gig or whatever it might be. But you can have it a little bit customised by having, someone's name engraved in it if you're going to give it as a Christmas present or whatever. Okay, so there's a bit of a middle ground there. Alright? What's value adding? Other than adding value, what is it? Have a go. What's the crux? Alright, what's the main ultimate goal of operations management? It's to do something at every stage of production. It's the value add. Okay? Let's use our example, our good friend, the baker. Always a good one. Okay? So we've got basically, let's go value on this axis here. Alright, and this, let's call it process stage. So value is going up that way and the process stage is moving that way. What do you need to make bread? Okay, flour, and how do you get that?
Milk.
What do you need to start with? Wheat, thank you. So let's say this is wheat. Now, a farmer might make a ton of wheat, or grow a ton of wheat, and they might only sell it to the mill for, I don't know, $10 for a ton. Okay? So, it's very little value. Most raw materials are very low value. So you start with wheat. Now they sell it to the mill. When the mill turns it into flour, what does that now do to the little wheat? Well, it makes it more valuable because now you can do something with it. You can make bread, you can make biscuits, you can make anything out of wheat. Okay, you've added a bit more value to it because you don't just go into Coles and buy a bag of wheat and then grind it up yourself and then do something to it. Okay, so having that flour pre-made, that now adds value to it. Okay, then they sell that wheat to a bakery. Okay, a wholesale bakery, so they make the bread for everyone. All right. When they've turned that flour to bread, what does that then do? Okay, increases the value again, because now people don't have to buy wheat by itself, buy flour by itself, turn it into bread themselves. It's done for them. It's got more value now. Okay. Now this is let's say a wholesale baker. They don't actually have their own bakery. They don't have their own supermarket. They make bread for the other supermarkets. So they make all these loaves of bread and they slap a packaging on it. You know, Tip Top, Helga's, whatever it might be. Okay. What happens then to that bread? What's that? Wonder Why. What happens then to that bread? Goes up in value again. Now, normally, again, convenience is there. It's in little loaves. It's already been sliced for you. It's got a good brand on it. Okay, you don't have to, basically make the bread yourself. Same deal here with things like coffee. Okay, they might sell a ton of coffee beans for, $20 a ton. Okay, goes to the mill that roasts it. They grind it. They put a packaging on it. By the time you go from here, this is why you keep seeing articles, and this would be a good one if you want to add it to your case study. When you see articles about farmers in Australia are getting a bit of a raw deal. When they sell apples to Coles for $20 a tonne or whatever it is they sell it for, by the time you go to buy them, you're paying $5 for a kilo. Okay? Now, I'm no fancy big city mathematician, but I'm pretty sure that when you add all those kilos into the tonne, that Coles is making a lot more money than what they paid for just the apples in a big tub at the start. Yeah. Okay? Same with bread. When you add in all those loaves of bread to be in a tonne, what the company is getting is going to be a lot more than what just a bag of wheat cost them in the first place. Okay? So the whole point is to add value to every stage. Any questions about the videos at all, any of the content? Does everyone feel fairly confident now tackling any questions now that I might throw at them?
Just with the value adding.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. So at each stage, how do you ensure that value is being added? It's
only through processing it even more.
Okay.
So if it enters as a bag of wheat and it goes through all these stages and just comes back out as a bag of wheat, then it hasn't really been processed. It's not really, anything's really been done to it.